So how you guys doing? Let me know. Drop a comment. Let me know how you're doing. And I hope you're doing well wherever it is you're watching from. I hope everything is okay with you. I hope you're coping just fine. So you're welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. On this YouTube channel, I share my preconception stories, how I've been dealing with my experience. It's not what I planned for, it's not what I hoped for, but I'm here and I'm sharing my journey with you. I also share information about my social enterprise where we provide perinatal mental health care services for women of childbearing ages in Nigeria and in Africa. Also recently, I started learning how to build a mobile application because for our enterprise, we wanted to create a mobile application that allows mothers and parents book for therapy at ease and on time schedule for care, because almost all around the world, perinatal mental health care services are transient. I'm not sure there are lots of people that are offering that care right now, but we are all out here providing these services because we believe that whatever happens at conception has the ability to last forever. And that's why I'm doing this video today, to talk about not just why perinatal mental health is important. I want to kind of have like a conversation surrounding why people should take mental health more seriously, because we've heard over the years, ever since the invent of COVID, lots of people started talking about mental health, lots of people started embracing mental health. Some people have used the wrong labels, some people have labeled themselves unnecessarily, some people have said they are experiencing a particular mental health disorder when they are actually not experiencing that. There's been words throwing around and all of that, and somehow lots of people are beginning to not take mental health conversations as seriously as they should. And when we actually meet people that actually need mental health interventions, we don't take them seriously. And it's kind of disheartening because, when you're trying to solve a problem, especially a new problem that you've discovered, that's sort of like new. Mental health is not entirely new, but growing up and in our environments, there are lots of stigma associated to mental health conversations, and lots of people associated with outright psychosis, which for me shouldn't still be a problem. People can experience psychosis. They could experience other mental health disorders, and I want the society that we live in to begin to accept these experiences and not invalidate them just because they are not clinical experiences, or they are not you think they are not life-threatening, but they are, because the number of suicides are increasing. And for maternal mental health, postpartum psychosis and postpartum depression and anxiety is directly linked to maternal mortality. Mortality rates currently in developing countries and even in low and middle income countries. And these conversations are supposed to be taken quite seriously, because one of the things that we don't realize is that mental health interventions are quite easy as long as you get it right in time. The likelihood of it becoming outrageous and causing issues is lower, and that is why we believe that starting mental health conversations for mothers and parents early enough, especially for new couples who are just married, people who are planning to have a baby, who are planning to get married, beginning the conversations early enough, asking about the triggers, asking about previous experiences, because trust me, no one ever thinks that they are going to find themselves in mental health issues, especially for people who outrightly experience outright psychological changes, and apart from psychological changes, physical changes, transitioning into a new experience like marriage, transitioning to experience like being a mother, having experienced something that you might not have really paid attention to, and then someday you find it creeping up on you without even knowing. So having those conversations kind of bring you to a place of self-awareness that makes you understand what you're going through. And the moment you understand, it's sort of like a revelation. When you have understanding of something, it comes with revelation, and you can act on it. You can do differently. But when you don't have an understanding that this is what you are experiencing, you're likely not going to make choices or make decisions regarding those things. And that's why these conversations are important, and that's why nobody should go through the birthing period, which is a transitioning period for anybody, without being properly assessed with a diagnostic tool to be sure that this person can go through this process. So it's not just going to be a one-off diagnosis. Of course, it's going to be each at every interval, during the transitioning process. It could be 1 month into the process, 6 months into, or 3 months into, 6 months into, 9 months into postpartum, and then 3 years after. Just accessing to make sure that this person is in the right place. This person is in the right place and is having it, having it not like naturally together, but is not at risk of experiencing any mental health disorders. So maybe today I'm just going to spend time to kind of identify some of the risk factors associated with perinatal mental health disorders. And I like to always say this: the reason why I talk about mental health, lots of people think I'm talking about mental health generally, but I'm talking about perinatal mental health for mothers and parents. And when I say mothers and parents, I'm talking about mothers, and I say parents because they're single mothers, the single fathers, they are partners who are not married, and they are also people who have children without being conformed into a setting that we are all used to, like marriage. Different things can just make people be parents, and some people are single parents, they're parenting on their own. So they are all inclusive. There are people who are parenting and they've lost their partner and to death, and they've lost their partner to divorce, and they still have to parent. And all of these experiences, trust me guys, leads you to have like a kind of, it puts you at risk. Not necessarily. Some people excuse me, some people experience all of that and they still come out well, but we all have different thresholds of dealing with our experiences and having to transition at every point of our lives into new experiences and new levels. It kind of have a toll on our mental health. It doesn't matter if it is toxic or not toxic. It doesn't matter if it is healthy or unhealthy. It doesn't matter if it is a sad feeling or a happy feeling. Sometimes if we're not able to create the balance in our thought processes, it sometimes leads us into an unhealthy place and puts us at risk, puts our mental health at risk. So I'm kind of going to share some of the risk factors of experiencing perinatal mental health disorders. And I also like to point out that mental health disorders in the perinatal period is not just associated with psychosis alone. Yes, there are some mothers who experience the extreme form of it, which is postpartum psychosis. At that point, it's kind of not like it's different, but it becomes a clinical disorder where you would need to be extremely managed and all of that. I'm trying to use the most simplest term, and whoever gets in contact with this video would find this profitable. And I'm trying to spend my time to talk about this because over the years I have found that loads of people are beginning to diffuse these conversations, and they are beginning not to allow these conversations to make sense. And lots of people have labeled themselves, more than they should. And sometimes, I'm not saying that some people don't experience this for real, but when you are not allowing us to be able to identify the real people, you're going to make this problem look like it's not there. Meanwhile, it is. So now I'm here trying to let you understand who is at risk. For mothers who are trying to, get pregnant and who eventually get pregnant, that period of trying to conceive kind of puts a kind of puts you at risk of experiencing a mental health disorder during pregnancy and eventually postpartum, because having a hard time trying to conceive can make you now wonder how you're going to experience this. It can make you think that it's not real, and it can make you already, apart from you thinking about the fact that it's not real, already you've also had a long period of time that you've had to try, and maybe perhaps some people have experienced a miscarriage, some people have experienced different other things, some people have had in-law issues, some people have had husband issues, some people have experienced a lot of things in the transitioning process to eventually getting pregnant, and people expect that is what you've been waiting for. And so when it eventually comes, you should be happy, and you are not just happy because of the web of experiences that has happened and the things that you experienced in the process. And right now you could have been here now and you're having different mindset, like, what's going to happen? Am I ready to be a mother? Am I going to be a good mother? There are so many other questions that will come up that puts you at risk. So having a hard time trying to conceive puts you at risk, is one of the risk factors to experiencing a mental health disorder pre-pregnancy, during pregnancy and postpartum. Also, having previous history of miscarriages, stillbirth, the loss of a baby, puts women at a high risk of experiencing that, because sometimes they've not really dealt with that grief, they've not really received proper care for that experience. Some people have shoved it off because they are not meeting the right set of people to talk to help them, and they've not really dealt with it, and it's somewhere hiding somewhere, and it pops up again when you're pregnant, because at this time you're now afraid, I hope I'll make it through, I hope this pregnancy would actually result to me having my baby, I hope my baby will make it through. So you begin to doubt the process, and it kinds of, starts making you worry. And when you start finding yourself worrying excessively, so that you begin to brood, you stay up late at night, you see yourself thinking that you might have as well just kill yourself and just end the whole thought processes and the struggles. When once you begin to have those kinds of thoughts, it's time for you to seek help. And so, like I first said, for people who have been having a hard time conceiving, and for people who have experienced a miscarriage or stillbirth or have lost a child, they are at risk of experiencing a mental health disorder during pregnancy and after pregnancy. And also, not having a good marriage experience, not having a supportive spouse can put you at risk, because when you don't feel supported, you kind of don't have the courage to face life, right? To experience the new experience. So when you don't feel supported by your spouse, by the people around you, having a hard time generally in your family kind of puts you at risk to experiencing a mental health disorder. And truth is, people will say, oh, what of our parents? What of our forefathers? They had this, they had that, and the truth of the matter is, these people probably were going through all of this, but they couldn't get help. The fact that people survive doesn't mean that it is right. It doesn't mean that it did not exist. People can survive, people can thrive, but they are not having it in a healthy way. And life is supposed to be had in a healthy way, in a kind of wholeness where you experience whatever it is that you're experiencing, your new experiences, you still are able to, you have the threshold to deal with it with the right support, with the right information. That's why I'm doing this video right now. So this video kind of saves as an information for you. So if you're a new mother, if you're trying to conceive, you're pregnant, you're postpartum, and you're seeing this as right now, you're breastfeeding, you're struggling with different motherhood experience, and you're seeing this, be rest assured that this information is what you need, and you making that step to try to find help is showing that you actually want to get help. And that made me that's on that, and that made me say, or for those of us who think our forefathers and foreparents went through all of this experience and they were okay, doesn't mean that they were actually okay. And this is me not trying to say that, oh, there are people that are not okay. Yeah, there are people who go through these experiences and they're okay, but I want us to realize that we have different thresholds. That is established. We have different thresholds. We deal with issues differently, and all of us have access to different forms of information, and having access to those information kind of puts us at an age over other people who don't have access to that information. That is why you see us do what we do. You see me do what I do. I wake up every day because the moment you don't have information, you can act. But when you know that this is what it is, you can stand up and try to get help for yourself, right? So I've mentioned 3 people or 3 experiences that can put you at risk to experiencing a mental health disorder during pregnancy and postpartum. Other factors that can put you at risk to experience a mental health disorder could be a history of a mental health problem, maybe a history in your family. It could be familial. It could also be you experiencing a mental health disorder at a time. It could be a PSTD, a post-traumatic stress disorder that happened to you sometime in your life. It could be an accident. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be something that posed as a stress to your mind and you were not able to, kind of probably dealt with it, but this time around you're experiencing something stressful again. So they can be like a relapse of that of a mental health disorder. So for people who have had experience previously, maybe as a child, then as a young adult, before you became a mother, you are likely at risk of experiencing a mental health disorder. And so if you belong to this category of people I mentioned, I like to make this call out to you right now. If you go to the description button, you would see a link that will take you to be able to chat with someone in our team. Trust me, confidentiality is one top thing in Make Earth Cares. We don't do anything without it, and we're encouraging you to speak to someone to receive proper help that will help you. Don't worry about if what you're gonna tell us is gonna get out there. Like I said, the confidentiality is top notch, and also don't worry about the pay for now. Don't also worry about if you can afford it. The first things first is for you to take the step to make sure that you have found someone that can at least listen to you. And we always would do a free diagnosis for you first to be sure of where you are and get you to be a part of our support community of other mothers, where you can share your experiences and ask questions, at least to calm your nerves first. And then we can now recommend, based on what we found out from the diagnosis, we can now recommend a tailored kind of care for you and your needs to meet that care. That is when you now begin to pay. And then if you need resources, we can also recommend some of our books and resources that we've used over the years, that other mothers and women have used to experience quite an improved experience during the perinatal period. That is kind of the process that you would have during your chat with us, from you actually clicking the link in the description button. So I want to invite you, if you belong to any of those categories, you are not alone, and you shouldn't be alone. You're not alone, and you feel something, you must say something. Don't let people try to tell you, don't talk about it, no one would understand you. That is not the case at Make Earth Cares. We will listen to you, we will help you, and we will make sure that you get the help that you need that is tailored specifically for you. So we're not giving you a generic form of care. When we would allow you make the decisions, we're not there to impose things on you. We're there to hold your hands and go through the process with you and remind you over and over that you're not alone and shouldn't be alone. So what is it going to be? I think somewhere around here you should be able to find the link to take you to give us a chat. You can also watch another of, I'm going to pin it up here, another of my video where I talk about why perinatal mental health is important and what happens during therapy. You should be able to find the video either up here right now or this way, where you can find information about more information about why perinatal mental health is important and why you should receive perinatal mental health therapy. Was it going to be mother or lady, wherever it is you are? What's it going to be? You're going to click on the link and speak with me on the other side, or speak with any of our team members. I think there is a link to chat me up directly, and there's also a link to chat our team members up. Whatever it is, click the link in the description button, and I'm happy to be of help, and we're happy to hold your hands and for you to go through the process, not just on your own, but with the support that comes from our services. I hope you found this video helpful. If you've watched up until this point, it means this video has given you some kind of value, and I want to encourage you to give it a thumbs up. Also, share this video to a mother. You can share it to a new mother. You can not necessarily share it to a new mother. You can talk to her about it first before giving her the link. Don't just buzz in on her, because trust me, she might not be experiencing anything right now, might not really find this valuable. But whatever it is that you want to do, you can put it on your WhatsApp status. I'm sure it will bring out the title of the video. You can also drop a comment in the comment section, ask me a question about this particular topic. I'm happy to answer questions in the comment section. I'm also happy to connect with you outside of here. Thank you so much for watching up until this time. This was a hard video to make, but I'm grateful that I was able to record my thoughts and record what I believe should be the order of the day when it has to do with perinatal mental health and maybe mental health generally. Thank you for watching up until this time. Until I come your way again, I will see you on the next. It's a goodbye from me.